Hey everybody, it's BillyBCreations here. I'm him, that's me, and welcome to a long-awaited vlog, I guess. Yeah, it's kind of been a very long time, like 2 months long. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. But yeah, I got my camera finally working again because last time I was trying to make a vlog, it wouldn't charge. I had to get a different charger for it, so that's kind of a thing. Also, if the side of here is really light, it's because it's sunny and it's summer, and I have a window. Oh yeah, and all of this is brand new. All this, well, not brand new. You've seen it all. It's just in a different way. I got my room painted and I decorated it differently. There's just some normal stuff. I mean, the big, huge Zelda poster that you guys usually saw over there is now just on that wall over there. So don't worry, my stuff's still there. I'm still a Zelda freak. Do not worry. That states for itself. But yeah, I figured I'd make a vlog because I needed something to make. I needed to make something for you guys, or else I'd just be a blank channel again. I don't want to do that. I want to make continuous content, and I should really stop rambling. So I'm gonna do this video. Welcome to top 10 cartoons that inspired me. Most likely been 2 times, but me. Not in any specific order. Okay, so from a very young time, my childhood, and by childhood I mean from when I was like 5 to 9, I watched a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. You know, with the theme song, "Game on, get your game on, come on, you better play a card," with Jade and Yuki. Yeah, that was my that was and is still my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh! Series. And it's like, you know, I have drawings that I've showed you guys, like here and here. So yeah, it's like that's what I started off with. That's how I started off with drawing in. I started off with anime, like I told you guys before in an older video, where I started off in anime and led up to cartoons, and that's kind of why Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Instead of another cartoon. That's probably where I get like all these weird like anime expressions for characters sometimes, like just the huge emotion kind of thing. But so yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Secondly is Pokemon, or Pokemon, which is the, you know, one of the main things that I drew when I was younger. I used to draw loads of Pokemon Ruby, because that was apparently my persona in Pokemon, but I really don't know anymore. I just call him Billy, because he just wears the Ruby clothes, so I just, but yeah, this is like this stuff like here, yeah, I did it like when I was like 10 and stuff, so yeah, that's Pokemon's, and I think that goes in with the anime where it's like all the just expressed emotions, because anime really does that. It shows off a lot of like detail, you know, like a lot of just huge outgoing stuff, like the huge mouths, or like when they're angry and everything. So I think that's where my like characters come in. It's Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. That didn't really influence me in a huge way, but at the same time it did. It was a very fun show, and it was very fluid. It was very, like, the characters all had differences. They were all completely different. I think Mac, his hair, I think that's where the Billy character hair came from, and was just kind of like a flat head. Maybe even Shane's hair. I don't know, maybe. But it's kind of where that just the difference, the different personalities, the different thing I wanted for each character in Billy's Toon Times. I think that's where it came from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. And I'm kind of a part of the company who animated that show called Boulder Media. Up here, that's their little logo, and they also did Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, which is what I just said, and like El Tigre and The Amazing World of Gumball, which is another thing that influenced me, which is pretty recent actually. It's a couple of years old, but only like a small amount of years, so maybe like 4, maybe a bit more, but that really influenced me, and you can kind of see that with the eyes and the expressions as well. That The Amazing World of Gumball was very influential to me, and I've drawn Billy Vampire, which is a character from my own version of The Amazing World of Gumball, and I showed it to the actual company, and they're like, "Oh my god, this is like exactly like from the show." he's cool, but we won't put him in because they finished the show by then, or they're on their last season. One of those. Adventure Time was another thing, which is also pretty recent as well. Just as recent as Amazing World Gumball, actually. And Adventure Time was very like, that's where all the really cartoony stuff comes out of Billy's Toon Times, where, you know, their arms are all flailing, like in the first episode where it's like, in like other episodes where Shane's arm just stretches out for no apparent reason. I think that's where that comes from, Adventure Time, just watching it and realizing I can do stuff with cartoons than just using physics, like just using the actual kind of like how real stuff works, but in cartoons. So like, you know, the way animators can just do this. Well, my cartoons can just have no elbow and just keep going on to, you know, bleh. Like, can just be a noodle arm. Yeah, noodles. Noodles. Danny Phantom was a big inspiration to mine. Well, it was a big show in my life. I watched like all the seasons from start to finish, and it was just so cool having, like, you know, having a character who is human but also ghost, and that's probably where like some aspects of my character comes from, because he's kind of like this normal 14 teenage dude, and yet he can go on these adventures as as you know, or whatever. He's a ghost. But my character Billy is just a normal dude who goes on adventures with his friends, who eventually turns into other stuff, which will happen in season 2. No, I'm not saying anything. I just think it's. I think that's where my character's kind of personality came from, is from Danny Phantom, his character and his personality. So that's probably where that came from. Anyway, I don't know about the rest of them. Maybe Tucker or Shane. That's about it. Jason Ferb is also it's not a huge inspiration, but it's a pretty good inspiration. Like, each character had their own kind of personality. Each character had their own kind of drawn way. Phineas had this huge nose. Ferb had this weird head, and yet each had a completely different, like, personality to them and style to their character. But I think just the way the characters acted and the way the characters kind of like worked and how they were animated really inspired me, and just the way cartoons look. Sadly, that show has ended, which I saw the season finale of. But I think Phineas and Ferb it's definitely an inspiration in my cartoons. It's probably not very visual at the moment, but it used to be very visual in my cartoons. Okay, so this is our second last one, which is Scott Pilgrim. Yes, I know it's not a cartoon, but at the same time, yes, it is. It's just a graphic novel. Scott Pilgrim, like the coolest novel or graphic novel series I've ever read. And I even got the last book autographed by Brian Lee O'Malley. Because my brother was, I asked my brother could he go to a book signing, and he did, and dude, he's tall. Like, seriously, Brian Lee O'Malley is tall. And I got it signed, and just you can definitely see some Scott Pilgrim in Billy's Toon Times. You can definitely see where that it's very similar to Scott Pilgrim. Only because I read those graphic novels back in 2012, and the next year I started Billy's Toon Times. So that's a very close gap to why the style probably looks like Scott Pilgrim. I'm trying to make it my own, but at the same time, my own style is a mixture of completely different styles. Sonic X is also a pretty big inspiration, probably because Sonic's character in that, I mean, like, Sonic's character in every single show that Sonic is in is very sarcastic and very much like a teenager. But I think that, like, mixture of Danny Phantom and Sonic's sarcasm and, like, their you know, leader personality mixed with their kind of, do you really think we need to do this kind of thing? That kind of personality, I guess just level-headed, just kind of really got to me, and that's where the Billy character comes from, where he's all just level-headed, but at the same time can go along with stuff. I guess, maybe. And second, no, last, because that was second last, even though Scott Pilgrim should have been second last. Like I said, no specific order. And so lastly, it is Eddsworld. Eddsworld, created by the amazing Ed Gould, and really, like, I watched that ever since like, first episode I saw of Eddsworld was Moving Targets, and ever since then I've been watching Eddsworld, always waiting for an episode to come out, and I still do. A friend of mine, Anthony, I forgot his name, Anthony, aka Creed. He was supposed to do Lunatics before he kind of quit on Eddsworld, because he did Power Ed, and was supposed to do Lunatics, but he kind of went off to it. And I also know Paul as well, who is one of the coolest people I know, and who can animate so freaking well. Even though he's my friend, I still look up to him, like, hugely. I really should start talking to him more. I haven't talked to him in a bit. I should start talking to Paul. But Eddsworld really influenced me, and Billy's Toon Times was originally a tribute to Eddsworld, and that's why it was exactly like Paul's style, because I traced over it. I traced over Paul's style in the original Billy's Toon Times episode, in episode 1. And then in Halloweenies, I changed all of that. I went completely with a style that I had integrated, and I just kind of changed everything. I mean, it still looked like slightly Eddsworld, but it was getting to a point where it wasn't Eddsworld anymore. And then in Done Deals, you saw it even more. The evolution is growing more and more. And now you saw I Don't Mind If You Don't Mind, which came out in February, which is completely non-Eddsworld like. I mean, maybe like the adventure could be Eddsworld-esque, but that, like, it doesn't look like Eddsworld. Each character has their own personality, and they're, you know, it's just, Eddsworld is really the base of Billy's Toon Times. You could say whatever you want. It was this show, Eddsworld was the base of Billy's Toon Times. And then all the shows that I used to watch somehow got integrated into that, and combined all together to make this one big kind of animation that I really like. And I'm not going to change the style anymore. Like, the season 2 style of Billy's Toon Times is finally made and finally perfect. I think it's really done well, and I know I might be bragging about this, but, like, I really think I did a great job on the characters now. I mean, I'm trying to get them more fleshed out, and they are getting fleshed out as they go along. And in the medieval episode, you'll see that, which will be coming out hopefully next year or the year after. Just because I have to work on Eddsworld the movie, and that's going to take a lot of my time. So I'll try to get out mini-sodes of Billy's Toon Times for you guys, and I'll try and, you know, do more stuff. I voice act in a Zelda thing by an animator called NGL Animations. If you check that person out, they are doing this thing called Link the Last Hero, or Zelda the Last Hero. And I'm Link, which is the coolest thing ever. I am the Link. I am this dude up here. You can't really see him, but I'm Link in that animation. I think that's awesome. And episode 2 should be out soon. And I get to play Dark Link as well, which is really cool. I'm just so that was a whole video of my inspirations on cartoons. I got this idea from a person on Twitter. Future Billy, put it on the screen. Thank you, Future Billy. Because I cannot remember the name right now. But thank you so much for giving me that idea. And thanks for all the other people who commented on that post. I will do so many other videos. And for the week, I'll probably, you know, just, you know, write them out and do whatever. Like a babble and stuff. Okay, I'm just gonna shut up now. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, and all that jazz. You know, comment your favorite inspiration. Comment your inspirations for your cartoons. And who knows, maybe they're similar to mine. And I will see you guys on Sunday for hopefully another video. If not, then I'll Facebook and Twitter for more ideas. So thank you guys, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.